I'm Gil. This is Burkland Gardens. Today, Adam and I are working on some Japanese black pines, and we're doing some repotting. We're right at the end of repotting season. These could possibly be used for bonsai, or in the Japanese garden style, we call it Niwaki. This is one of the cork bark ones, and we'll show you the other ones that he's been working on. We're also working on some alpine firs and some mountain hemlock. So I'm going to dig this. It was dug within the last year. It's in native soil, balled and burlapped. I'm going to dig it out and kind of show you a little bit. This is my steel shovel here, and then we'll get it over and start working on it on a table. And then we'll show you the others that we have that have been worked on in the last couple days. So there's the root ball. You can still see the burlap. This steel shovel, we've used them for over 25 years in our landscape business, and they work awesome for taking trees out. They're part of the digging. They're not the only one we use for digging trees, but they work well in situations like this where we want to use some leverage without breaking a shovel handle because they're all steel. So I'm going to do a light lift on it and see where I'm at. These roots are probably attaching. You can see white roots down in this area. Means it's pushing roots. This one has a wire basket on it. It's going to help hold it together. Here's another azalea that we didn't like at home, but it's got some heavy branching, and we'll use it possibly for our bonsai. So I think I'm going to get Adam over here. We'll get the hand truck and get it transported. We might work on it right here, so we'll get back to this in just a minute. So Adam has just stepped in here to give me a hand on this black pine, and he's been working mostly single-handedly on the what we call the Makawa Japanese black pines, which is a rough bark one. So we're going to get this pine out. This is more of a cork bark one with a deep fissured bark, and we're going to move it out and work on it right here just because it's pretty heavy and reduce the size of this root ball. So I've got the steel shovel, and we'll just kind of twist and move it on out. Let's see. Okay. I've got the top here, just stabilizing it.
Spin it towards me, maybe.
Okay. Okay, Okay, you got it?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna grab some tools. We'll need to cut this twine. I don't know.
Yeah. It might just break away.
Yeah, it's rotten enough. Okay, we're getting started here. We had a little chunk of soil fall away from this one, but the burlap is off, all the pinning nails are off, and Adam and I are going to work together on this one. So what do you think where's going to be the starting point, the top or the bottom or the sides?
Starting point for me is usually, since it was dug in burlap, it kind of has that cone down low, so I like to get the bottom flat,
right,
and then play around with the angle of the tree, and then take it from there.
So we'll start. I'm going to use the bigger one a little bit. If it's too aggressive, I'm going to switch off to the smaller root hook. So are you starting about here?
Yeah,
okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay. So this has a lot of fibrous roots up in this area right here, and there'll be roots growing down lower as well. And it's just a matter of discovery. I think is what we'll find is. So mycelium, it's a fungal type organism, right?
Yeah. Fungus network.
Yeah, network. That and it has what we call a symbiotic relationship.
Yep.
Yeah, with the roots, and and when you see that, it's that white. Don't be alarmed when you see it. It's actually something that's good for the tree, good for the roots. We're just doing some carving here. Not trying to break off large trunks up here, but just slowly whittle down the soil.
And to expose those fibrous roots, take care of any big thick ones that we need to.
So I'm seeing one little larger root. It's not huge, but we'll cut this one back. Roots like this right here, I'm just going to snip that off. And there's a little bit smaller one. Get that taken care of. The others are just little fibrous roots. So when nursery men dig trees, there is a standard for the size of the root ball, so you capture as many of the fibrous roots as possible. But what we're going to do is reduce this, try to develop those fibrous roots into a very heavy root system of just, fibrous type root material, so that it'll help develop the top of the tree as well.
Develop the top of the tree and survive in a smaller container.
A smaller container, and that's what we're looking for in the bonsai world. So I picked up some of these tools at the Flower and Garden Show. They're handmade in Oregon. I don't know if we'll put a link in the description, but I might talk about them again, because I'm really happy about a couple of tools that I got from this craftsman down there. They fabricate these themselves. I don't know if they make the handles or not themselves, but just awesome tools. I'm just really liking them. There, this one here, more you can do weeding, do this kind of work. This one here, I could do some raking on this, or just cultivating in the soil like that, and it just does an awesome job. So we're gonna using that tool that I was just talking about. It's got a kind of a sharp angle on it, and it just, without ripping, and it'll cut the roots as well. I'm just peeling that soil, and I don't want to do anything that's too aggressive and break the root mass totally. We want to keep a lot of this root mass intact, because on conifers, as opposed to our deciduous type trees like Japanese maples and katsuras and stewardias, you can, at the repotting time, you can completely take the soil off of them and they're okay. But the conifers, they have a relationship we were talking about with the soil, and they need a certain amount of soil on them during the process. Eventually, what do you think? Work it down at a point when you can put it in all more granular type, like pumice. Yeah. Or do you? I guess is it a problem if you have some soil when you finish the plant, or you want it all off?
Some native soil is good.
Yeah.
Even for my deciduous trees, I put some of it back in.
How about the conifers?
Conifers, I usually try to leave at least a quarter of the native soil in the mix, something around those margins. Yeah, they definitely don't tolerate being bare rooted.
Okay, well, we'll continue working on this, and then we'll get back here in a minute. Adam's getting this pot ready for that black pine, and what we're doing is covering these drain holes right here with a mesh. This one, sometimes it's plastic, and this one's metal, and they get wired in. He makes a little clip out of that, like a little paper clip, and then puts it into the hole, folds it on over, and now the loose granular material doesn't wash out of the container. Now this pot has been cut down to 8 inches, 9 inches, maybe 10, somewhere in there. Yeah, we're kind of guessing, but it's just a shallower pot to develop a shallower root system. We're getting ready to do some anchor wires on this pot, and that's going to hold the tree in. On this particular one, so the tree is heavier, we're using 2.5 gauge wire, and those wires will go in, and Adam will get that going. Are you going to use 2 or 3? Or?
I use 2 different wires, so 2 strands coming out here and here, and then I'll cross them.
Okay. And then those go through the holes. I'll let you thread it, so I'll turn it around, and because you're faster and more nimble than I am.
Only barely.
I don't know. I can't frame houses either. Adam's a carpenter, and he frames houses, does finish work, and all types of other work, except for electrical and plumbing.
That's right. I don't mess with those.
Small drywalls. So cool. So this pot's ready to. We're gonna get our soil mix. We'll talk about our soil mix since we're right here too. So we have some soil mixed up. It's screened pumice, and I've taken out the fines and left it, with a little coarser material. And I have a little bit of cocoa core, which holds. It adds it's ground up very, very fine, holds water well. It's an organic material, but just a small amount, about 4-to-1 is what I think. We're not doing an exact, ratio on this, but that's going to be our mix to go around the tree and just underneath the tree. So, you use a little bit of soil too, or
I do. Yeah,
okay.
I'll mix in.
Okay, so you're
like a third of the native soil.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab these.
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Okay.
It's already pre-mixed a bit.
Okay.
Throw that in there too.
You want any more off the sides, or are we gonna try for that?
Let's try and slip it in there first.
Okay.
And see how it looks.
Okay.
We can always get it in there and then strip a little more if we decide we need to.
You want it right next to it, or do you want? Yeah.
Little drainage layer in there.
Okay.
You got your hand out of there?
Yeah, I do. So we've got a little.
Side of the pot.
Oh, it did collapse, didn't it? Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. So I got a little bit right there to come off. I can clip a couple roots there.
Nice. Work it down in there a little bit. Yeah, I think we can come down quite a ways on the top. This might actually work.
Yeah, I'm sure there's soil 3 inches or so above, where the roots start. See anything over here?
This is feeling pretty good.
Okay, I think I've got most of our root mass is in kind of that area. I'm feeling better about it than I did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It was kind of fell apart on us here, but I'm feeling good.
Let's check out our angle.
Okay. Do you want it to? I'll hold it if you want to look.
Okay.
I think Adam has a better perspective on how we want to situate this as far as the angle goes.
If we can bring this up just a little bit.
Okay.
So if I hold this here, can you pack some soil up under that guy?
So anchor wires are brought around, twisted together, and then pulled and twisted to lock it in nice and tight. And we'll show you as we finish the tree how well it does with the trees as far as making it very stable so it's not going to fall over.
Okay, let's see how that goes.
Okay.
Still a little loose in there. So let's bring.
So this one I would definitely hold on to for a year. It's not something I would sell just because of the soil we've lost right here. I'm not concerned about it, but it's not something I would want to put in someone else's hands and then have the tree die. So we're going to get the soil packed in, our soil mix. Just like making bread or something. I've never made bread, but I've watched people make bread.
I think that's
Good consistency.
pretty good, yeah.
So Adam's packing down the sides, getting that soil a little more compressed before he starts adding the final soil mix. You don't want to have air pockets where it ends up being little voids in the roots. You want the roots in contact with soil at all the time. You need that chopstick, or are we good?
I think they're pretty good.
You can do it with your fingers, yeah.
The rest of that root ball was pretty intact, so it's mostly just packing the edges. Nice and solid.
Feels solid?
So it feels solid.
Cool.
And you probably just dump
some in there.
Bucket on this side. There we go.
Okay. So in your mind, do you think this would ever be a bonsai, or do you think it'd be more of a Niwaki?
Ready for bonsai. I think you'd have to probably do a good chop on it.
It's just too big, yeah. But
a little leggy.
Yeah.
Be a nice landscape tree.
Mm-hmm.
Just top dressing, just to make it look nice. Contrast the bark and the needles.
Do you ever chop up moss and then sprinkle it on top?
Oh yeah.
So what do you use for chopping? Do you use a blender or just chop it by hand, or?
Just tear it up by hand.
Do you?
Yeah, mix it in with that top little layer.
Do you try to get it pretty fine, or?
Or I put chunks in.
You do, yeah, okay.
I find with the chunks that the crows come and
for nests.
looking for bugs and nests.
Oh yeah. Exploratory.
Yep.
So we finished up that pine. We're going to bring it over here, the Japanese black pine. These are some of the ones that we worked on 2 days ago. They're all in the shallow pots, ready for the summer of, we're going to have to keep them well watered. We have a mountain hemlock here as well, but there's several black pines we're going to put into the video. Hard to find these sometimes, availability that can be used in a garden or possibly as a bonsai. So I want to thank you for joining us today on a video about Japanese black pines and some repotting. We're just at the end of the season where you can do this kind of work. I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing it, working with Adam on these black pines. And so again, these are Makawa style seedling Japanese black pines. I've got about 8 or 9 of them, but there are hundreds available that are still in the ground. So we'll see how the sales go on these this year, and just kind of enjoying that. I thank you for joining us on this video, and hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.